This is your dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. Starting from humble beginnings, Nick has been beating the markets for over 2 decades. He shares with you his take on the profitable trades that will have you moving towards financial freedom in no time at all. To see an in-depth review of his track record and much more, go to inthemoneystocks.com.
Welcome. This is your daily dose of daily market wisdom with master trader Nick Santiago. I'm your host, Kerry Lutz. It's 526.23, show 496. Personal consumption price index, personal consumption expenditure price index rose 0.4% in April. Nick, what does that mean?
Well, it's a little bit hotter than expected. So, that excludes food and energy, obviously, but it is still a little bit hotter than expected. And that's been the Fed's number one report. They always talk about that report. That's like their go-to report, so to speak, and a little bit hotter. So that tells us that, come this July meeting, I think the Fed is going to meet on the 13th and 14th of this month, Tuesday and Wednesday, of June. The June meeting, they are going to probably have to raise rates another, 25 basis points.
Yeah. Well, one wonders if they had started raising rates 25 basis points every quarter or every other month, maybe like 2 years ago, would we be in this jam now, or is it just inevitable?
It's hard to say. Either way, they definitely kept the rates too easy. They also did a quantitative easing to the tune of $120 billion a month since December of 2018. So, they were just pumping money into the system. And then, while it looked like they could get away with doing that, the COVID crisis came. And next thing the Treasury had to borrow $7 trillion. And then the Biden administration, that was under Trump. Then the Biden administration came in and they've already borrowed another $7 trillion. So, we have $14 trillion. And people want to know why, we're getting inflation. I mean, it's forced inflation. It's not that things want to go up. They have no choice because there's so much money in the system.
What's 10 trillion among friends, Nick?
Well, it's 10 trillion wouldn't be so bad, but we're at, I think, 14 trillion. So it's even worse than that.
Yeah, unfreaking believable. All right, so NVidia, that seems to be the hot bellwether tech stock along with Tesla to some extent.
Yeah, I think NVIDIA right now is the talk of the town, right? This AI has just become almost like a dot-com mania. NVIDIA yesterday, after earnings, the stock was up about 25%. So it had a big move. It also lifted the semiconductors up too. There were a lot of semiconductors that were getting beaten down. They all rallied up. And, again, NVIDIA probably is ahead of the curve here in this AI technology. I don't think there are a lot of other semiconductor players that are even in the same category. So maybe NVIDIA, warrants to move up. But, it lifted everything in technology. You know what it kind of reminds me of, Kerry? Back in, 97, 98, everybody started to attach a .com to the back of their name. Even if, they made Band-Aids, they were .com. And, that just caused a mania. And we're kind of starting to see that euphoria build up here too on this AI front.
Well, I would like to see them replace the Congress with AI. I think it's time, and you could just elect your favorite bot to Congress. In fact, you could argue that all these congressmen and senators are just bots anyway.
You could make a case they might already be programmed. If you ask me, they all are, because I think it's all pro wrestling. But that wouldn't be a bad idea. I tell you what, AI would not do a worse job.
Yeah, that's for sure. They couldn't do a worse job, and there's only room for improvement. It's kind of like when you have AI driving the cars here in Florida, it cannot do any worse than Floridian drivers. It can only be up from there, right?
Yeah. Well, you can be parked in an empty spot in a supermarket, and somebody will find your rear end and give you a tap. So it's pretty bad down here with the driving in Florida.
No, it's the worst state in the country. We have the most dangerous interstate highway in the country, which is I-95. It's the most dangerous anyway, but when it gets into Florida, It's like dangerous on steroids. And then we have the Mile of Death, which is in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. It runs to the Marina 84, the Marina Mile, the Marina Mile. That one is acknowledged more deaths there than any other mile of interstate highway. So, like I say, replace the drivers with bots, replace congressmen with bots, and we might get some sanity in Washington and get some fiscal responsibility, because a bot would certainly appreciate more than a congressman that you can't spend to infinity and inflate to infinity and not have disaster happen.
Yeah, most likely. It all depends who programs these things, right? Because, sometimes now we get, we already see that these AI chat results come out and they're slanted, right? So it depends on where you're taking it from or what vendor you're getting it from. They have their own little bit of opinion there. So I always find that to be pretty amazing. As everybody says, hey, look what this one said, or look what this AI said, and they all are already slanted. So maybe the politicians are already bots.
Yeah, they could all be bots for all we know. And maybe that would explain a lot. So final trading session before the holiday. We saw some crashes take place during holiday weekends. Doesn't look like that's going to happen today, does it?
No, it doesn't look like it. Right now, it looks like everybody's going home in a kumbaya moment. The markets are up across the board. Still early in the day, so anything is possible. But right now, it does look like we're in that light volume float where traders are saying, hey, everything is great. The debt ceiling is going to be solved soon, possibly today, and they're buying into it. So, most traders I know will be out of their office by 11:30, 12 o'clock in the afternoon on a Memorial Day weekend, and they're going to kick off their summer. Obviously, markets are closed on Monday.
All right. So gold and silver, they seem to be enjoying the PCE boost news.
Yeah, gold is okay today. It's been a little bit choppy, basically flat, but silver is very strong today. It has pulled in a little bit off the highs, but silver was up over 2%, now only up about 1.4% that I see. But that was a little bit surprising to see. Silver did hit a lot of daily chart support yesterday, right around that, I believe it was right around that $23 area. So today we're getting a little bit of a bid. We'll see if that level can hold. If it doesn't, we'll do some more backing and filling. But precious metals definitely are hanging in there fairly well today.
All right. And so Bitcoin's going up a little bit today.
Yeah, it looks like Bitcoin's caught a little bit of a bid. It's actually up over 1% now, and lives to fight another day. The daily chart on Bitcoin is not a good-looking chart. Tells us this could go down and test 25,000. That's not a death sentence by any means. The weekly chart is still holding up for Bitcoin, and that's the promise there. But if it does rally off that weekly pattern, which it could, I don't think we'll go much past the recent highs that were made in April. I think that would be about it. But again, Bitcoin's still holding up right now.
All right. Well, that is it for today. Make sure you go over to Nick's site, inthemoneystocks.com. See how he's beaten the averages for decades. Twitter feeds at ITMS, at Nick Santiago01, at Kerry Lutz. Emails are welcome, KL@kerrylutz.com. We've got a few to go over next week, Nick, and have a great weekend. We will catch you on Wednesday. Hey, in the meantime, put your comments on the YouTube channel. Feel free. We'll get to some of them as well. Nick, we'll talk to you on Wednesday.
Enjoy the holiday, Kerry.